Good afternoon. My name is Annette Cannon, and I'm the Special Master assigned to hear your case today. Special Magistrate. I'm going to briefly explain the procedure for those who've never been here before. You've been cited with a violation. You have been time to correct the violation. The city has chosen to proceed with this hearing for the purpose of obtaining a finding of noncompliance, which can later be used at a subsequent hearing for the purpose of being deemed a repeat violation. The hearing is public, recorded, and all testimony is taken under oath. Although the formal rules of evidence do not apply, fundamental due process is observed. If you're admitting the violation, please advise me when you come to the podium. You need to tell me how much time you need to correct the violation. The city will also give me an estimate. Based on what you both say, I will give you reasonable time to correct the violation. If you're contesting a violation, the city must prove through clear and convincing evidence that the violation has occurred and or the violation is still in existence. This is done through testimony of the inspector or the custodian of records, and the inspector is not available to testify in the exhibit introduced by the city. If you're refuting the violation, you're expected to give testimony as to why there is no violation. After I've heard both sides, I'll run a decision based on the evidence and testimony before me. If I find there is no violation, I'll dismiss the case. If I find that there is a violation, I will give you reasonable time to correct the violation before a fine begins to run. I have authority to impose fines up to $1,000 per day per violation. If you're a repeat offender, I have authority to impose fines up to $5,000 per day per violation. There's also an administrative fee of $106, which is assessed by me unless I waive it. When you come to the podium, please state your name, your relationship to the property owner, and if you have authority to speak on behalf of the property owner. While at City Hall, members of the public are strongly urged to wear facial coverings and observe social distancing, consistent with CDC guidelines to limit the spread of COVID-19. At this time, I ask the clerk to swear in all the witnesses.
Just stand up and raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth? Yes. Thank you. You may be seated. First case is number 35 for 4260 Chase Avenue, SMC 2020-01330. It's a request for more time to comply, and it was done timely.
Hi, how you doing?
Please state your name for the record.
Yaniv Levy.
Okay, let's see. Okay, so I see the violation was on December 17, 2018, and on April 15th, you were given a compliance on July 19th. How much more time do you need? Because it has been going on for almost 2 years now?
Yeah, so right now I have a process number for a right-of-way permit and also for an after-the-fact permit. So I'm just waiting on comments back from the city, if any, to begin the work. So.
Does the city have any objection to additional time?
No, Your Honor. We had some companion cases, and they were actually heard in front of Chief Special Magistrate Zamora on a similar issue. There are 3 cases that are pretty much running in parallel with each other. One of Mr. Levy's neighbors, and I might pronounce the name wrong, Georgina or George. There was another neighbor on the same area, and so her paperwork had been submitted, and we were just waiting for the right-of-way manager to sign off on it. He's been out for 2 weeks. He recently just got back from vacation, so there's no objection. We know that they're working and they're trying to get all the paperwork in and everything done, so no objection to the request for more time.
How much time do you need?
Assuming that, honestly, what we're requesting is for everything to stay as in place. So if I get all the approvals from the city, it shouldn't be much more time. So I don't know what the process is or how long it takes.
So they don't grant it, then you have to take away whatever you put in there, right? I'm not sure what the violation was. Okay, you used probably.
So I guess the contract, I invested in the house years ago. I pulled permits correctly. I spent a lot of money. I hired a contractor. I guess he didn't put the driveway under the master permit or whatnot. I'm not sure exactly what the formality, what he did, but I even was given a CO by the city. I went through the whole process. Then I was given this violation years after. So I've been kind of just, trying to work with the city to keep everything as is, because I did invest a lot of money, and I understand they paved, the public works area without permission. So I guess I'm going through that formality for the after-the-fact permit. And if they grant me, I won't have to do any work. If not, then I guess I will have to. But
Okay, so I'm gonna give you, another 90 days, which is November 22nd, or the $100 day fine will start at that point.
thank you.
Hopefully you'll have it resolved by then, and,
I'm confident we will.
okay, good luck.
I appreciate it.
You're
Thank you. Thank you.
Next case, it's case number 36 for 4400 Post Avenue, SMC 2020-01361. It's also a request for more time to comply, and it was done timely.
Good afternoon. Brandon Rothbard. I own the house with my wife.
I've seen you on Zoom many times.
Yes, nice to see you in person, although the Zoom is rather convenient. Judge, I've been trying to resolve this issue. I know Mr. Rothstein has been very helpful, and I had a meeting with several of the inspectors. They came to my home, but I was ultimately told by them that Mr. Rodriguez was the person I needed to speak to. I've been calling Mr. Rodriguez. I was finally able to get a conference with him on July 1st. He originally told me that the permit was denied, and I said, my permit's denied. I haven't even applied for it yet. This is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get the paperwork to do the application. And then he told me there wasn't any type of permit I could apply for, which didn't sound right to me because I've been told by yourself and by prior special masters there's a right-of-way permit and an after-the-fact permit, which I think Yaniv was talking about, that I can apply for. And he was saying, well, no, you can't. And I said, well, that's what they told me. And I actually argued with him about this for a little while, and eventually I was told, well, you could apply for it, but why would you bother applying if you know I'm going to deny it anyway? And I was very concerned by this, and I said, well, I imagine there's some type of appeal procedures if I disagree with it, but I'm entitled to apply for it. So he's like, well, let me check with Mr. Rothstein, which apparently an email was sent to Mr. Rothstein, and I was copied on it. And eventually I was forwarded an application, which was this application. And this application is an application for future work. It says Public Works Permit Application, and I looked at it, and I can show it to you, but you're probably familiar with it. It says, like, the street address, work to be performed, start of work, end of work, and it talks about, like, permitting and traffic, things like that. And I wrote him back on, what was the date I wrote him back? I wrote him back, and I copied Mr. Rothstein on July 7th that, hey, this is an application for future work. I want an after-the-fact permit, a right-of-way permit, which is what I've been told to get. I wrote him back, and he wrote back, and he said, the application provided in the previous email is the only application available for landscaping and public right-of-way. Once the application has been submitted, please advise for Public Works review. But that application isn't applicable to my scenario because it's not an after-the-fact permit. So I'm still here at a point months later where and I bought this house in 2016. The foliage was already there. It's been there for, 10 years before we bought the house. But meanwhile, I still can't even apply for the permit because I can't get an application.
Okay.
So I'm kind of stuck in a position of I can't even do anything.
Mr.
Good afternoon, Your
Varela.
Honor. City of Beach Code Compliance Administrator Ken Varela. I've met with the gentleman on his property a couple times with Green Space Management and also Public Works Inspector. I also have the right-of-way manager, Neil Rodriguez, here. He's going to elaborate on what the gentleman just spoke about.
Okay, that'd be great. Thank you.
Fernando, I think you need to swear in
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Just raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Your Honor, O'Neill Rodriguez, right-of-way manager, Public Works Department. The application that was provided to Mr. Rotbar, my apologies, is the Public Works application. That is the only application that we have in our department for any work in the public right-of-way. There's a provision in that same application for after-the-fact permits, which is what he would have to apply for. Per our communications with Mr. Rotbar, the landscaping that is currently in place in the public right-of-way is not something that the city would be able to approve. So once the application gets submitted to the Public Works Department, it will automatically be denied because it cannot remain in there. This was a safety concern that was submitted by the Police Department to the Code Compliance Department, which is why the violation was issued.
Your Honor, if I might just add, and I think what Mr. O'Neill is alluding to is there are trees and there are landscaping in the swale area. The trees are what can remain with the after-the-fact permit, just like the gentleman before's case and the other case before Chief Special Master Zamora. The question here is the landscaping that's around the tree that is X amount of height, off the ground. My understanding is that portion can't remain because of site issues and other issues. So it can be that some of it can be legalized, but some of it can't be. And I know Mr. Rothbard has reached out to me on numerous occasions asking how high can he keep what's the low foliage there. And my understanding, and Mr. O'Neill is here to testify to that, none of that can remain. That seems to be the issue.
And again, I know like we're on a corner and I know there's a stop sign there and I always make sure that they keep the height low enough that the stop sign can be viewed and there's full visibility and everything. If I have to cut, some of them are like, some of them are this height. I doubt that makes like a visibility issue, but some of them are higher.
So I can't create, I can't give you an exception. I don't have that authority. I can only do what's in front of me, which is, are you in violation? Are you not in violation? Do you need additional time to get in compliance? I think they're pretty clear that the trees could stay and the hedge cannot. If I'm wrong, you tell me, but it doesn't, it's regardless of the height, they have to go.
That is correct. Since the hedges that are around the trees are overgrown, we met with our greens management director, and he, per his expertise, if you cut them down, the hedges would not survive. It'll become a worse situation, which is why all the hedges would have to be removed.
So there is nowhere else to appeal it to. We can't create an exception for you. It's there.
But in my neighborhood, there's plenty of areas where there's bushes and plants and and trees, and in fact one of my trees was ripped out by the city a few years ago by apparently it was a big accident and they replaced it. So some of that stuff that's there was even put in by the city. So my concern is, if there's a safety issue, no one's told me what the issue is. All I heard is the police reported this as a problem, and I don't know if it's...
So now you're being told it's a safety issue. It's unfortunate that you weren't told all along.
But my concern is if it's, I understand if the trees are this high, but if there's bushes or whatever it is that are this high, is that still a safety issue? I've heard nothing about any type of plants that can't survive being cut down. Because
Yeah.
I've asked people, I've asked Mr. Rothstein, I've asked everybody, how high do they have to be? And even the inspectors that I met with at the house once, I said, how high? No, we don't know.
Well, the greens management director has identified what needs to be removed and what can remain. And that information has been provided to Mr. Rothbard. The overgrown hedges would have to be remained. The trees can remain in place.
Are there any hedges that are allowed to be there that are that are shorter?
I don't believe that any hedges are that height.
Well,
as far
and
as
again,
I can
my concern
remember.
is I don't mind cutting the hedges down to a height that are no longer a safety. Again, I don't know what the safety issue is. If hedges are this high, no one can hide in them, no one can have their sight obscured by a vehicle, it's not an issue. So if they tell me, well, the hedges have to be 2 feet high, I'll say, okay, well, let me cut them down to 2 feet. But if they just tell me, well, there's an issue and some of them can go, but we're just going to have you get rid of all of them, I don't think that makes sense. These things are they've been in this house before I got it. The woman who lived there before me was putting a lot of money into these hedges and landscaping, and the house is kind of famous in the neighborhood of, the one with all the trees and everything. And it looks nice. And, there's like a little thing that the kids walk through, like a little archway on the sidewalk, and all the kids like, oh, that's the house with the walkway. So it just seems kind of wasteful to say, okay, well, we don't know which trees are a problem or which bushes are a problem, so we're just going to have you cut down all of them. It doesn't seem to make sense. If they told me, look, cut them down to 2 feet, we'll cut them down to 2 feet. But it seems kind of wasteful to just say, well, we're just going to say that none of them are going to go because there's apparently one there that this is the first I've ever heard of it, that if you cut them down, they're just going to die. I haven't heard of that. I don't know which plants they're referring to.
I think these are safety issues. I'm looking at the hedges. They're very
concerns.
thick and they're very grown. So anyone that's trying to go around the corner or something will have their vision. They won't be able to see. And that's
I understand that, but I'm saying is if there was a cut down to like 2 feet or 3 feet, they're not going to be an issue with. I don't know if it was an issue of safety with regard to someone hiding there, or with regard to driving and
It's with
sight
driving.
view?
But if, I mean, if the city's not willing to give you a variance on that, I mean, I can't create that. I mean, he's telling me from his department, which is the department that has to approve it, they're saying they're not gonna approve it. I can't create an exception for you. That doesn't.
But isn't there an appellate process for a denial? I mean, can I appeal that to the city commission or anything like that? I mean, it's my understanding that I can.
My decision, you can just appeal to the circuit court, or, you know, and I mean, there's nothing I can do. As far as his decision, Mr. Rothstein, do you have any?
Well, no, we've offered to sit down, and I've kind of lost track where we're at as far as meetings go with the green space manager to have a site inspection. We've reached out about that to go over what could be saved and what needs to be removed.
You've had that already?
Well, we
Well,
were supposed to have that
yeah.
between the last hearing and today, so if it hasn't taken place, then certainly the city would agree to grant the request for more time.
Yeah, we had a meeting, but Mr. Rodriguez wasn't there, and
Well,
I don't
yeah,
think any
now
of-
he's
I
back,
think
and we can
one
get
of the
Mr.
gentlemen here was
Knowles.
there. I think you were,
Code
right?
compliance
Yeah.
would not be would not necessarily need to be there. It would be green space, and it would be the right-of-way manager.
And I'm happy
so
to meet with them, that's
we
no
can-
problem, and if they
if we
tell
can
me, cut
continue
some
it-
stuff down, it's no problem.
Okay.
So I'm
You
happy
give it
to-
one more try. I mean,
You
I
ran-
just don't
yeah.
want you to, I want you to go in there with open eyes and not any expectations that they're gonna give you a give you an exception to what everyone else has to follow.
I understand, and if it makes sense that what they're asking for, I got no problem with it, but I just, again, this is the first time I've ever been told about, you know, like I said, as I sit here, I don't even know if it's a view issue with regard to people turning on the corner, or an issue with someone hiding in the bushes or something, I still don't know. But if someone points out to me, look, this is the problem, how can we fix it? I'm happy to do that, so.
Okay, when can you guys meet with them?
I have to get back, we'll definitely can reach out to Mr. Rappard for that, and I'll
So
have
within
to
maybe
also get in
7 days,
touch.
you could set something up?
How long?
Maybe within 7 days, you could set something up? Like next week, you can have something set
I'm
up?
out of town Thursday, Friday for a wedding, but other than that, I'm pretty much available.
Okay, I'm just saying, you have a compliance date of July 19th. Obviously, I'm gonna give you additional time to comply. I'm just trying to see what's a reasonable amount of time, since this has been going on for a long
Okay.
time.
Objection to 30 days, or if you can bring it back on October 4th, or whatever date
All right, let's
Fernanda
come
has on
back.
it.
I'm gonna do a compliance date of October 4th. And I'm gonna do a hearing on that day as well.
Hold
the
on one
progress
second, let me just
report.
check my,
Actually, I believe it's the 7th.
I mean, it's 7th, that's what I meant.
October 7th, does that be at 1:30 also?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, and that'll be your new compliance date as well. But hopefully, it'll be none. If you're in compliance before then, we can, they can do an affidavit of compliance, we can cancel the hearing.
Okay,
Okay, but let's hope we can get something resolved from now till then.
okay, and Mr. Rodriguez has my email address and phone number and everything, so there shouldn't be any problem with reaching me.
And again, if you're not in compliance, the original special master order of $100 a day will apply,
Okay? I'm just putting that in my calendar so I have
Sure.
it here.
And Mr. Rodriguez will also need green space out there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm still trying to figure out how to use this phone.
So that's what kids are for.
Yeah, I'll do it outside. All right, thank you very much. Have a
All
good
right,
day.
all right, you're
Thank you.
welcome.
Next case, it's number 37 for 3920 Garden Avenue, SMC 2021-01517, for a progress report.
Matteo Soldatini, manager.
Okay,
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
want to present the violation?
Okay.
Yeah.
So William Alfonso with the City of Miami Beach Code Compliance. This is in regards to a property maintenance issue, which was witnessed on April 4th of 2021, SMC 2021-01517. This is in regards to violation of section 58-293. This is in regards to a cap that is missing from the back of a pipe at the rear of this property, facing the alley. It says here under section 58-293, Every plumbing fixture, water pipe, waste pipe, and drain shall be maintained in a good sanitary working condition, free from defects, leaks, and obstruction. I don't know if you have pictures there.
I do.
Okay. So as you can tell, the violation was issued on the 4th of April. It was in regards to the sewage waste coming out of the pipe at the rear of the property. As you can tell, there was a substantial amount of water that came out from that rear of the pipe. Since then, we've progress checked, or we've been by the property around 4 or 5 times. Each time I have not witnessed, and other officers haven't witnessed, any type of waste coming out of the pipe. But we do still request that a cap is placed on it. I progress checked the property this morning, and it still appears that nothing has been put on top of the pipe, to prevent any future spills.
Okay, thank you.
So we had a plumber coming out and cleaning the whole plumbing system, and he told us that it's not possible to put any cap there because it's a very old plumbing system. So we are continuously monitoring and cleaning the system. I have an invoice that I showed to the officer from the plumbing company.
So what is he supposed to do if the plumber's telling him that he can't put a
Well,
cap on there?
Reference to the pipe needs to be capped. That's just the point. It's an overflow pipe, I'm guessing, that discharges waste when it's backed up somewhere else. So that pipe needs to be capped. That's the bottom line.
Okay, so you're gonna have to find a plumber that's gonna
Okay.
do it.
I will.
Okay, so 30 days, is that?
Yeah,
Okay, so 30 days to do it, September 20th, or $100 a day fine.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, good luck.
Bye.
Next one, it's all the cases, Annette, they are on the papers, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, for 52, 55 Collins Avenue, SMC 2016 ending in 6, SMC 2016 ending in 7, SMC 2016 ending in 8, SMC 2016 ending in 9, SMC 2016 ending in 12, SMC 2016 ending in 11, SMC 2016 ending in 10, JC 11472, JC 11473, and JC 12739 for all for progress report.
10 cases to be exact?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay,
Good afternoon. Alfredo Gonzalez, Office of 33 America, on behalf of the 10 dock owners. Unfortunately, my progress report is not going to be, we're still stuck with the condo association. I can tell you that our last communication with Rosa, their condo lawyer who's still engaged by them, was back. We sent her the settlement. She had several settlements that the condo association wanted for them to agree to sign the permit so we get the work done. We send their last revision back in March, and we keep reaching out to them. My colleague reached out to her by calls, by emails again this week, and it's always radio silence. The only communication we've had from the condo association's lawyer in months was right Memorial Day weekend, when they sent letters, an email, saying that someone was illegally using the broken end of the dock and ripped the fence and were boat rentals off and alleging that we were responsible. If not, they would call code, which I welcome. And it's the upland fence that under their control, that was ripped out. And outside that, we went on to, and I'll submit it to the record so you have copies. And for you, that's the last email correspondence I had with her. Yes. I'll give you two while I'm at it, because I'm going to introduce the second one. And then, so what we've gone and done, since we have 10 owners, some have passed in the state, so we went and got signatures. So I'm introducing, I have both the dock management agreement that the condo association proposed and the settlement agreement fully executed by my property owners.
Thank you.
Got it for you. So at this point, I've advised my clients that unless we get a response, there's not much else we could do. They're going to start, several of them do actually own units in the building. They're going to individually reach out to the condo association members and the building unit owners. I don't know where I really can't tell you where the logjam is. The condo association attorney may be told by her client not to respond. So we have the dock company, the contractor, who has received deposits and contracts from our 10 owners. And the moment that the condo association, as Durham is required, they're the upland property owner, signs on our permit, we could actually apply for the permit
Right.
to then head towards the direction of actually rebuilding these docks.
So how can we help you to move this forward, because you're at a standstill?
At this
You're
point,
not-
and I know that we've talked about it before, the master doesn't have right now jurisdiction over the condo association. And that's really what's holding up any action. Any communication to urge them, that'd be great. I mean, we assume that they're fine with the latest rounds of demands that they had. They wanted to create a management agreement for operation of the dock and fees, and that's how they wrapped into a settlement agreement, which previously there wasn't any direct agreements. So all the unit owners, all 10 of them, came around and they all agreed to the terms. But
the condo association is not responding.
so yeah, we agreed to the terms, and like I said, we even went as far as executing. We're sending the original signatures over to their condo attorney in hopes that it breaks the logjam. But I can tell you my clients have reached out, or are going to start reaching out to the individual owners, and we would advise them the only other option they have left is to sue the condo association.
Seems like that's what you have to do. I mean, we don't have any authority. It's something I can do. Unfortunately, you can't then use your docks because you can't work on them, you can't fix them, and so your hands are tied. So I guess that's what you're kind of left with, is having to go to circuit court.
And, I will say, for the record, that most of the access to the docks are fenced, so
Yeah, I see that
there's no one going there using. There was an issue, the one that was sent to us. Apparently, the most southern dock, the fence was ripped out by someone, and I guess in the height of Memorial Day weekend and all these boat rentals you see on Indian Creek now, they actually were loading passengers on and off, kind of like straddling our property and the condo association to the south that does have viable docks. So that, from the pictures, that dock doesn't exist on our site. It's actually
Right.
immediately to the south, the property to the south. So, and again, the upland, I know there was a case a while back, the upland is the condo association's responsibility.
Yeah, we had an issue with the pathway there, and that's when I reviewed surveys with counsel for the association, and it was determined that it was their responsibility in that area where the pathway is. It's in the upland owners. At this point in time, there's only really two things that can happen. One is that the individual unit owners for these docks are going to have to file a circuit court action for declaratory relief or injunctive relief. To the extent that it helps them to have fines running, I'll leave that to Mr. Gonzalez for a compliance date, or if you just want to leave it open and see within the next 60 days if, in fact, the lawsuit was filed. But otherwise, nothing's going to happen because unfortunately, Mr. Gonzalez did as much as he could do in trying to get the association to cooperate, but that's not within the special magistrate's jurisdiction to order cooperation. The only thing that Your Honor can do at the next progress report is have your clerk subpoena somebody from the association and/or their counsel to come in and explain what the delay is. So that would be option 2.
Okay, do you have a preference?
We would be more than happy if we get someone from, we're going to deliver these originals to Rosa de la Campa, because she is still the counsel, as far as we know.
As far as I know.
And like I said, as recent as Memorial Day, when she was emailing on behalf of the association on the, as she called pirates, she was still engaged. Yeah, we couldn't get any response on the other matter. So, and again, I've advised, obviously I can't go door to door to, they're represented by counsel, but my clients could, within their rights, to reach out to the board members of the association and individual owners. Maybe that'll get some traction.
All right, so let's reset it for October 7th. And at that time, let's get subpoena the condo association or their attorney to come as well, so that we could get a status report from them. And if we can't get a status, then we'll give a compliance date and have fines start to run.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Oh, you're welcome. Good luck with that.
Trust me. I know you want to retire all those huge files. I know. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Goodbye.
That's right, because you guys are now the magistrate.
Fernanda, if you need help with any of the contact information, just reach out to me.
I know, I keep forgetting.
I know. Take care.
Next case is number 41 for 5650 Alton Road, SMC 2021-01583. It's a new case.
Hi, how you doing? I'm here for my dad. He's at home right now. He got COVID last week. I have his test results here.
Okay, please state your name for the record.
Hugo Roman.
Okay, and I'm going to have the city present the case for, and then you can respond, okay?
Okay.
All right, good afternoon. My name is Co-Compliance Officer Gaspar Rodriguez. I'm the custodian of records for this case. This is in reference to 5650 Alton Road. It has several property maintenance violations stemming from cracked and broken stucco. Masonry fence in the front of the property is not properly painted or coated. There's furniture crowded in the front porch. The front yard has excessive growth, has potted plants scattered everywhere. And in the front masonry fence, there's also a light fixture that's missing.
Okay, and when's the last time you did a check of the property?
Yeah, last time there was a property inspection done was on the 17th.
Anything changed?
No, I got pictures to show you.
Okay.
The only thing that's really changed is that since the initial violation was issued, they went ahead and put up a green security fence covering on it. But on some areas, it flaps, it's loose, so whenever the wind blows, it blows it up and it sees everything behind it. And there's construction going on. They do have a permit for interior work, but it leaves the front gate wide open and everything is visible from the right-of-way.
Okay.
He's been trying to contact you since the 10th and the 13th. He has red receipts. He's trying to find out if he hasn't gotten responses from anybody
Okay.
in regards to this, and he's trying to figure out how to work it out with you guys and everything else. He's trying to fix it up, and there's stuff on the outside. You want stucco and painting on stuff that's being constructed and walls, and he's not sure how is that you wanted to proceed with that.
You want to explain what he has to do to get into compliance?
Yeah, pretty much it's we understand that it's under construction. It's just, you just gotta fix it. It's, the permit you have is for interior work. So there's no reason why the outside,
But he's doing also exterior work outside also. You know, there was foundation work that was done, there's exterior walls that were built.
yeah, but,
There's more than that being done, and specific to the areas that you were saying.
yeah, but the interior work only includes the interior, garage, and storage.
Okay.
I didn't see any open permit for foundation work, for exterior work.
I'm not
for
fully
anything,
aware of all
so-
the permits. Like I say, he called me because he was supposed to come in here himself, and like I said, have the emails with the receipts that he's tried to email with him and contact him, he hasn't gotten responses on.
It's
So
probably
I
because
don't know.
I'm not the issuing officer, so,
He emailed a Tasha Bayers because he called the office and it's already emailed her, and then a Jorge Rios. I mean, I have him right here. I mean,
Mr. Rios?
Rios he's been out of the office,
Oh, okay.
so.
so
No, it's like-
he's not avoiding it, but he has been trying to
No.
contact also.
Okay, well,
Just,
I think certain things you need to get done, like the broken pot,
like,
There's he's got stuff cleaned out. I mean, he's asking for more time if possible.
oh,
Yeah,
you'll
that's
have more time. We're just, it seems like you need a laundry list of things that you need to do. Do you know what needs to get done to get into compliance? Do you
because
understand?
if he actually if he looks at the pictures, he'll actually see what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
I have the violations here that he showed me what he has to get done. He just needs more time to get it done, especially now he got sick and he was trying to contact Rios and he hasn't, it's just
How
kind
much
of
time?
compounded at the moment.
We'll give you time. How much time does he need?
30 days?
I think you need more than that.
More than that? Sure.
Why don't we give you 60 days? Is that enough time, you think? Or is it stuff that he needs to pull permits for to get in compliance, any of that stuff?
The outside is just needs to, the
exterior
masonry
work,
fence,
from what I can
exterior
tell,
work
I've
just
seen.
needs to be painted and and the stucco is just very minor,
Okay.
so
So I
60
think
days,
60 days should be fine then. Okay, so it's an October 20th compliance date, or there'll be a fine of $150 a day.
Okay. This is for me, you said?
Yeah, that's true, you can keep.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll go offline and we can talk.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Right. He'll get an order in the mail. Just let your dad know. Okay, thank you.
Going back to 3 cases from this morning, Annette, the gentleman is here for those cases that
Okay, wait, on number 42 though, are we done with that one? I just want to finish whatever's on the 130.
You want to finish? Oh, of
I
course.
do. I want to
Of
finish
course.
whatever's on the docket.
Not a problem. Let's go to case number
38?
38. Thank you. 4534 Sheridan Avenue, SMC 2021-01540. It's a new case.
And I have service. It was sent to a Central Boulevard, PMB 106, Orlando, Florida 32801. Let's see. Whatever the signature is, let's see. It must be the registered agent, right?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, well then we have service. I would just make sure we have the correct registered agent. Who's the registered agent you guys have at this point?
The registered agent, Your Honor, is I Am World Services, Inc.
424 East Central Boulevard, number 106?
Correct.
Orlando, Florida. Okay, that's still the current registered agent?
Yes.
Okay, then we do have service, and there's a no-show. Let's go ahead and proceed.
Okay. Son Remillion, City of Miami Beach Code Compliance Officer. I'm the custodian of record. The code case number is PM 2020-04019. It was issued on November 29th, 2020 for the property located at 4534 Sheridan Avenue. They were in violation of section 58-292. Screens to roof eaves are not properly maintained and shall be repaired or replaced. Thank you. And section 58-293, roof shows evidence of not being watertight and shall be repaired. The notice of violation was sent via certified mail and it was received on December 26, 2020. It is the first offense, and the issuing officer conducted a proactive inspection and observed the roof to be severely damaged.
So when was the last, I'm looking at pictures that you guys provided that were taken on May 27, 2021, which were pretty significant. Has there been a follow-up since that time?
Yes, I personally inspected the property on August 14th, and there were no updates, no corrections, or no repairs whatsoever.
So no permitting, nothing's been done since the initial violation?
Correct. They applied for a permit, BR 19-03757. It was applied for on December 3rd, 2019, but it's currently in abandoned status due to lack of progress in the application process.
Is the property vacant and just not
Yes,
being
correct.
maintained? Wow,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, Your Honor, just for the record, this property was cited recently with a lot clearance case, failing to maintain the exterior of overgrowth and such.
Oh, wait, there's an additional violation
There's
recently?
additional violations as well. that Recently it was cited.
Okay, well, clearly this is gonna take time, but they're not even listening because they're not showing up, they're not doing anything, because you gave the initial violation back in 2020, November 29th is with initial violation, nothing's been
Correct.
done.
Yep.
So I'll give a compliance day of 30 days with not a lot of expectation, and it'll be a $200 day fine.
Okay.
And let's post the violation and mail it. I don't know what else to do to get these people to do something. I don't know, at some point, if you report it to an unsafe structure, or it doesn't, it's just gonna deteriorate and get worse, so I don't know.
We'll advise the building department.
You do what?
Advise the building department.
Okay,
All right. Thank you.
thank you.
Next
And what is
case,
the date? 30 days is what date?
September 20th.
September 20th. Next case, it's number 39 for 5757 Alton Road, SMC 2021-01573. It's a new case.
Okay, so this one was sent, I think, to registered agent as well at Christopher Rodriguez at Something Investment LLC, 94th Lane, Miami 33186. I just want to confirm it's the correct address. It is, it's, at least from what you gave me, nothing has changed. I guess mine is, yeah, it says still current, okay. So under this, Chris Rodriguez is registered agent for Epic Investments, who owns the property. So we have proper service, and we have a no-show, so let's go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon, Your Honor. Code Compliance Officer Gaspar Rodriguez. This is in reference to 5757 Alton Road. The violation was issued January 15th, 2021, and it was inspected on May 25th, when it was found to be not in compliance, and it was last inspected on August 18th. And nothing much has changed at the property. It still has the crack over the garage door, and the property is not properly secured since it's a vacant property.
Oh, wow, okay.
Your Honor, if I might add, 5757 Alton Road is currently in a foreclosure action. There had been previously a bankruptcy action by the owners, and there's some transfers of deeds, and there's some legal issues involved in that. But the problem with this property is that it's a very visible property from Alton Road. It's the property just to the north of the golf course parking lot. The city constantly receives complaints about the property and the lack of maintenance to it, as well as the structural issues which are being addressed by the building department. So the city would ask for a compliance date within 30 days, and the fines to run shortly thereafter, because nothing's being done to maintain this property.
So the bank's not doing anything either then, I guess, or the lender?
That is correct. So if, once the order is signed, if Fernanda could provide it to me, I will file it with the court and see if I can get their attorneys to try to do something while they're, or at least the lender, to protect the collateral.
Okay, let's do a compliance day September 20th, or there'll be a fine of $200 a day.
Your Honor, based on the property owner for this property, I've spoken to him, Mr. Rodriguez, and because we also have lot clearance cases open at the property as well.
Yes, what?
We have lot clearance cases open at the property as well. I've spoken to Mr. Rodriguez on the phone, and as Mr. Rothstein said, there are some legal, he did state that there were legal issues with reference to the ownership and the back and forth, and he said that they had no intention of maintaining the property, so.
Right. Well, exactly. So someone has to be accountable, because if I was one of their neighbors, I wouldn't be very happy, right?
Gotcha.
So,
Hey, so, Your Honor, you said compliance date of September
September
20th?
20th or $200 a day?
$200 a day? Okay.
Yes, it's 30-day compliance date.
Next is case number 40 for 5847 Alton Road, SMC 2021-01583. It's a new case.
And I have service. It was sent to Something Alton LLC, Account and Management, Something Northeast 123rd Street, 1549 Northeast 123rd Street, North Miami Account and Management, care of. And then it says 5487 Alton LLC. Got a lot of name going on there. So pursuant to the Division of Corporations, let's see. That is the registered agent, Account and Management. And the owner of the property is 5487 Alton LLC, which is, okay, that's the name of the entity that owns it. All right. So we have service. Okay, let's proceed.
All right, good afternoon. My name is Gaspar Rodriguez with Code Compliance. This is in reference to 5847 Alton Road, which is violation is for the structure needs to be painted. There are areas in the house where the paint's peeling or chipping off, and the paint is in need of being scraped and painted.
So what was the day of the violation?
Yeah, the day of the violation, it was issued February 9th. It was sent certified. It was received on March 12th. It was inspected on May 25th, where it was found to be not in compliance, where it was submitted to be heard before the Special Magistrate. And it was last inspected August 17th with no change in the status of the violation.
Someone living there? Is it vacant or is it?
Yeah, the house is currently vacant. We do currently have a lot clearance issued on that property as well.
Okay. All right. A lot clearance. What do you mean by that?
Lot clearance is it's a property maintenance violation that we issue if the property isn't maintained, if the grass and the floor isn't cut, and it isn't cleaned and kept in a clean-looking appearance. The city will go ahead and contact the city contractor, where he'll go out and clean up the property, trim back the hedges and trees, cut the grass, remove any dead flora around the property at the owner's expense.
All right, let's go ahead and I'll give a compliance date of September 20th, or a fine of $200 a day. Let's mail the order and let's post it as well. All right, thank you.
Next one, it's number 42 for 200 East Revo Auto Drive, SMC 2021-01584. It's a new case.
That was sent to, let's see, 200 Evo LLC, care of Rafael Sosa, 3971 Southwest 8th Street, apartment 305 or suite 305, Miami 33134. The violator is 200, let's see, what's the name of the violator? It's not owned by this person? The violator's name is 200 Revo LLC, Rafael Sosa, PA. Is that?
That is correct.
Okay, well, then we have service, we just have a no-show. Okay, let's proceed.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Armando Vega, City of Miami Beach Code Enforcement Officer. This is a property maintenance violation issued back on 4/20/2021 in reference to overgrowth for trimming the hedges behind the property line, and it hasn't been done.
And when's the last time it was inspected?
I was there on 8/17/2021.
And still not done?
It's still not done.
Okay, this should be done immediately. Let's go ahead and post this as well. It's gonna be a 30-day compliance date of 9/20, or a fine of $150 a day. September 20th will be the, yeah. We'll post it and we'll mail it, but they should get notice of this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now we can go back to the one in the morning.
Yes.
There were 3 cases for 5830 Pine Tree Drive, numbers 5, 7, and 8. SMA 2021-02479, SMA 2021-02493, and SMA 2021-02532. That's, yep. Father and sons, right? That's you.
Thank you.
May I please state your name for the record?
Sure, my name is Edgar B. Sinchi.
You're the owner?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna have the city present the violation, and then you can respond.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. William Alfonso with the City of Miami Beach Code Compliance Department, custodian of records for this case. In regards to the following 3 cases, 2 of them were issued on the same day, which was March 13th. One was for any person failing to obtain a business tax receipt as required, as well as conducting business on public property. One of them carries a fine of $1,000, and the other one carries a fine of $250, as it is a first offense. The third violation was issued on the 27th of March, so approximately a week later. This is for a second offense of any person failing to obtain a business tax receipt. And this one was at 4736 North Bay Road. So my understanding is the BTR for this company was obtained, I believe, in June. So anytime between May to June 21st, they were conducting business on public, whether on public or private property, but they were conducting business without a BTR.
Okay.
And the third case has a $500 fine as the
Correct,
second
yes.
offense.
As a second offense, it carries a $500 fine. I
Okay.
do want to mention I did look at the BTR for this company, and they do have several locations, but none of the locations listed in the BTR are addresses that reflect here on the following violations.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Edgar?
Yes, good afternoon, my honor. Last time I was here, you request me to have a proof that when did I pay the, well, actually at the beginning, it's not that I do not have a business license. I did have it, I had always had, because I've been working as a food vendor in Miami Beach for the last 15 years. So I always had, it was just expired. Unfortunately, my technology, I'm not up to date to have paid it online. I don't know how did it work, because normally I had come all the years that I have renewal, come to the office, but the office was closed. But you did request me last time that to prove that when was the license paid, so I have right here. It was previous to the ticket one of the tickets that they issued me.
Okay, so
And
that's proof of the,
when was it paid? No, that's my copy. That's the only one. But it's fine. Okay. Yeah, it's fine. And also, I do have the addresses that are basically like I cited for on the license. It's right here.
Your Honor, I guess the question is, for the purposes of this appeal, whether those addresses were added after.
right.
I don't think there's an issue that there was a BTR. I think the issue is that the service addresses were not listed on the BTR. So the issue then becomes on appeal is whether or not the two addresses that we're here for today, 5830 Pine Tree Drive.
Actually,
and
I'm sorry.
4736 North Bay Road are actually on the BTR that was in existence on the date of the violation.
They're not. based
Sorry,
on-
for
March
the
13th,
the thing about 4830 Pine Tree, this was issued under a right-of-way. I think the correct address was 56. I have it
Exactly,
in
the
here, one of the
address is
pictures.
wrong.
5630, actually.
So your violation was given to the wrong address?
It wasn't the wrong address. The thing is that they
Yes.
were conducting business on public property. Since it was public, we can only issue based on the most nearby right-of-way parcel, so we can have something to refer to.
So they're not, okay, I'm really confused. Can you explain it a little better for me, Mr. Burrell? Thank you.
Can I add something?
So was that the address they were selling at?
Right-of-way. This was on the right-of-way. I guess you couldn't
Yes.
find 5630.
So the address is just, it's 5830 Pine Tree Drive right-of-way, which means the publicly owned land in the area of 5830.
So you're saying it's your testimony that he was conducting business on 5830, even though the BTR was only for 5630?
Well, there's two issues here. First of all, he was on the public right-of-way, which he cannot sell on the public right-of-way. Even if he has a license for the establishment, he needs to be on private property to conduct business.
Okay, so that's where the second violation would come in, the companion case, right? Is there a companion case on that? Yeah.
Correct, Your
That would be
Honor.
number 7 on my docket, which would have been SMA 2021-02-493, that even if he had a BTR, it wouldn't have mattered, he still would have gotten that violation.
Right.
Okay. And then as far as the first violation, was the address at was the wrong, I'm trying to understand, if he has a BTR, why he got that violation? Because the BTR was issued on the 13th?
Because the issue is, I believe the BTR was issued on, what was it? On the 6/21 of 2021, and this violation was issued in March. So at the moment
he paid for it
of
on
the-
March 17th, but it wasn't issued until June?
Correct.
Why was there a delay?
I have both BTRs here if you wish to take a look at it. One of them expired, what is it, September 30th of 2020, and it wasn't renewed until June 21st, 2021.
Okay, but it's his testimony, he gave us paperwork to show that he paid for the BTR, and you may want to look at this.
Okay.
On March 17th, so I don't understand why there's a 3-month delay. If-
Well, for the simple fact that just because you pay for the BTR, you need to have it issued to you before you conduct business.
Okay,
So just because you pay for it, there might be some outstanding circumstances why you haven't received it yet.
so do you know, thank you, do you know why it wasn't issued to you? I mean, how long have you been in business prior to this violation being given to you?
Oh, in Miami Beach, I've been many years. I was also surprised because actually the inspector that came and gave me that, he just took pictures and left, never explained to me. And I mean, I got a certified mail, and I couldn't answer any questions that she had on both job sites. She just came, took pictures, and
Okay,
so never questioned me.
I guess, so you understand in the future, just because you apply for BTR, it doesn't mean that you have a BTR. And until you have the BTR, you can't conduct business until you actually have it.
Yes, but I had paid. As you can see, I have paid that. And
I know that you paid for it, but it
Yes.
wasn't issued until 3 months later. So paying doesn't give you the right to conduct business. You have to actually have the BTR issued to you.
No, when I paid, they told me they were gonna mail to me.
Right,
And-
again, you didn't have it. So
At the time,
whoever took your money didn't know the history of your case, so they couldn't actually say to you, you're gonna get it in 3 days, you're gonna get it next week. They may give you misinformation, but the point is, they didn't promise you the BTR. They
okay.
can't promise you the BTR.
Exactly. So when I came to the city to request for my, when actually I got the cited, they told me that I cannot be doing business. Once again, it was expired license. It's not like I didn't have it. Everything I had on, like previously, was just not renewal on time. So when I pay, they told me it was gonna go. Normally, I have always had got my license by mail, but they never I never got it. So when I came, they told me you have a pending violation, so we cannot provide you a copy.
Okay. So As related to the first violation, you didn't have a BTR. Okay, you may have paid. I will reduce the fine, but you were conducting business without a BTR. So I'm going to deny the appeal. It's an adjudication. It's a first offense. I'm going to reduce the fine to $250, okay, instead of the $1,000, to be paid by September 20th. As far as Special Master 02493, you were conducting business on public property. You could not be doing that. So I'm going to deny the appeal on that. It's an adjudication, and that's $250 to be paid by September 20th. Is there a third case too? Oh, there is a third case.
It's number 8.
Okay, and you want to go over you want to present that one? Because I don't have that one. I mean, we haven't gone over it yet.
Yeah, of course. This is going to be SMA 2021-02532. This is in regards to City Code case ending in 10456 for a second offense of any conducting business without a business tax receipt. So this one carries a fine of $500.
So I guess you got the first violation, but you continued to I don't understand why you kept working on Miami Beach without having your BTR after getting the first violation.
Okay, here's the thing. On Saturdays, I have my business is going to the construction sites and provide them with their food,
Okay.
So that was my first Saturday that the inspector saw me. Was my first Saturday that I have to work on Saturdays. That I start working on Saturdays since all this pandemic happened. So once I got on Saturday, which is the date of the first violation. So on Monday, I think was the 14th, and then on the 17th, I paid the license. So by paying,
You thought that you were okay.
exactly. So I even showed the inspector. I think her name is Deborah. I said, "Look, I already paid," and she still gave me this fine. So
Right, because you weren't allowed to conduct business without it. Just by applying didn't mean that you actually had it. Okay. Again, I'm going to deny the appeal on this one as well. I'll reduce the fine. It's a adjudication. It's a second offense. And I'll reduce the fine to $250 to be paid by September 20th. Okay, so that's it. So you'll get an order for all three. They've all been reduced, but in the future, without a BTR, you can't conduct business. Even if you apply for it, you have to have it in your hand.
thank you, madam.
Also, I just want to mention it's set to expire on the 30th of September, so next month. So you would need a new one if you're going to continue anytime after October 1st, okay?
Yeah. I was gonna do that today also, but
Okay, perfect.
so I'll do that to it. Thank
Okay,
you.
great idea. All right, good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just to make sure you understand that if you don't pay it by the time given, it goes back to the original amount.
Oh, I see. Can I pay it today?
No, we have to do the order, right?
Okay.
And then you gotta go to code compliance so they can generate the invoice for you.
So it's not like
So
I go to licensing and pay?
give it until next week, so you should be on the system, so that way they can,
All right. How much do I need to pay my own?
30 days.
No, but how much money? I mean, what's...
250 on each.
There's 700 with 2.
Okay, thank you.
750.
Right.
All right.
That concludes the
There's
calendar.
you don't have any
unless
agreed
Steve
orders I have to go
has
over?
any agreed orders? No?
No, Your Honor, I have none.
All
Nor has
right, that
my
concludes
office
our
provided me with
1:30
any, so I
calendar.
think we're adjourned.
So we're good.